So in this video, we'll be doing the June 2018 spreadsheet section of Excel of this past paper. So the first question states, which of the following is true? So obviously we know there'll be a lot of falses, right? H is used for freezing a portion. No, H shows the sheet name. A is called a status bar. No, A is called a quick access toolbar. K is called an active cell. No, an active cell is over here. E is called a row heading. E is called a row heading. That's false. I mean, E is pointing at the cell. So straight away, there's my answer. So it's E. Okay? Because this is incorrect. Because E is for the... E is... Wait. It's called a row heading. Oh yeah, this is false. So it's not the answer. But then I is used to insert a blank worksheet. So that is true. So the answer will be that. Because E is true. So to get another worksheet, a sheet, you press a plus. The next one, which of the following is true? So B allows you to edit text. That is false. It shows you the grid reference of the active cell. F is used to display the cell reference. That is false. D is used to display it. No. B is used to display the cell reference. C shows the contents of the active cell. That is false. D shows that. G is used to select the entire worksheet. Yeah, that's true. So when you press this left sign symbol, it basically selects the entire worksheet. So that is true. And J is called an adjacent cell. That is false. Adjacent cells is when you highlight all the cells next to it. So from C to F, that's adjacent. So this is false because it's only one. So it's not a range if it's one. So the only answer is D. Now the next one. If the value of that is entered into label J. So where's J? So J is the active cell. Then what will be the cell reference? So straight away, if I look at the cell reference of J, every time you start with cell reference, you look at the letter. So it's C, C3. So already I know my answer will be the C. Because you got C3 here as a reference, and then B and D. Now, what is B and D? So in cell 3 will be shown in the part label B, yeah, and then it will display in the part label D. So let's see. So B, perfect, because I told you the grid reference will be displayed over there, and will also be displayed at D, because whatever you're writing over here will be displayed at D. So the answer will be C. The next one, if the formula C5 is that, if this formula is copied into cell C6, so basically if you picture it, C5, where's C5? Okay, we can't see C5, but basically if this is C5, then if we're copying C into C6, that means we're copying the one down. So if you look at it, what will be the new formula of C6? Now there's a hack or a way to do this. It's simple. So if you went from C5, remember we were on C5, and now you're on C6. Did you move down or to the side? You move down, right? So what's changing? It'll be the numbers, right? Because you're on C, you're just going down. So only the numbers are changing. So you went down by 1. So technically, everything over here will go down by 1, the letters. So it's like how you get maths. X is equals to X. If you put 1 on one side, whatever you put on the left, you put on the right. So because C6 moved from C5 to C6, it moved 1 unit or 1 number down. Or you can say it moved 1 up. So the formula in C5, okay, the new formula in C6 will be. So you add 1 to 5 to get to 6. So what you do, add 1 to A5, that will be A6. Add 1 to B5, that will be B6. And you don't add over here, because whenever you put a $sign over here, it means it basically remains the same. So it'll be A6 times B6. So let's see. So the answer will be B. You see, so I move 1 unit down. I plus 1 to get to C6, so plus all. But here you don't plus because it's called absolute cell referencing. So the next one, which of the following is false? The rules for constructing a function is called syntax. That is true. A fill handle can be copied to cell contents to adjacent cell. That is true. So you slide it down and then all the numbers go there, so you copy. Cell range, this is non-adjacent cell range. That is true because there's a break over here. So like a cell range of that, and then in another place of the spreadsheet, then you highlight. So basically, if you highlight, let's say, C, all of C, and you highlight all of H, they're not next to each other. So it's non-adjacent, right? Because adjacent means it's next to each other. So cell range is a non-adjacent, so that is true. The formula, this, has 4 arguments and 2 operators. So before we go to this, I just want to see E, an Excel file consisting of one or more worksheets called a workbook. That's correct. So I know for a fact this is wrong, but let me show you why. So what is arguments? Arguments are like basically numbers, or like a unit of a letter or a number. So what I mean is this. B5 is an argument, D5 is an argument, C5 is an argument, D5 is an argument, 2 is an argument, and E1 is an argument, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it actually has 6 arguments. So straight away you know it's wrong. And 2 operators. What is operators means? You have to count the plus or minus or divide. I got 1, you don't count the equals to. So you got a times over here, so that's 1, plus that's 2, times again that's 3, times again that's 4, minus that's 5. Yeah, so it's 5 operators. So that's wrong. The next one, which of the formula will be entered in D2 and copied down through D201? So basically, you got all the test learners marks, and inside D201, this is like the last grid of like this whole, it goes down, and the last one is D201. So basically what you're going to do is, you need to do a formula over here, and then copy it down. So when you copy it down, it applies the same formula in this block, to this block, to this block. So all you have to do is put this one formula down, and bring it down. That's how I calculated this number, this number. But what will be the formula in D2? In D2, the formula will be as follows. So let's see. So I can tell you this, it will be equals to B2 plus C2. Because B2 plus C2 will give you 163. And if you copy it down, it will do the exact same thing like what you did over here. Now, it won't be this, because the sum formula is just sum, not sums. But if it was just sum, it'll work, right? What is the sum of this and this? Is this right? So they trick you, but there's an S, so that's false. So the only answer is B. So what formula should be entered in B202 to calculate the average of test 1 mark? So B202 is the last grid of this. So to calculate the average is obviously the total of all this divided by 200. But in Excel, there's something called an average function. So instead of doing that, you can just put average and the range of all the numbers where it is, and you get the average. So straight away, they're tricking you over here. Will it be AVG or average? In Excel, you write the full word average. So from B2 to the last grid, which is B201, that will be the answer. The next one, which formula should be entered in E2 to determine the largest final mark? So when you want to find the largest something, there's 2 ways. You can use the large function, or you can use the max function. The difference between large function and max function is max function finds the maximum value, the max, the highest. However, the large function helps you to find like the second highest, the first highest, the third highest. So this means that you're looking for the third highest number, but you want the largest final mark. So if this was 1, if this 3 was 1, then this will be the answer, but this is the third highest, so you're not looking for that. So we want the maximum, so it's max, so it's A. So the answer will be A. The next one, if the formula count A1 to E6 is entered, okay. So this range is A1 to C6, so it's all these things over here, right? So what is the count function? The count function basically counts everything that has numbers. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not this, not this. 7, it has numbers. Not this, not this. 8, 9. So the answer is 9. So it only counts numbers. So A1 to B6. Now the next question, so this will be the answer is A. The next question, A1 to B6. So A1 to B6 is these 2 columns, right? This column and this column. So count if it has SUR and some other word. So what is this over here? This star. So basically the star represents any word. So as long as the word starts with SUR, which is sir, and it can have anything, so we'll count any words like that. Now, for example, Surika and let's say if there was Sunika, as long as there's SUR and SUR in front of their names, it'll count that. So in this case, what it's telling you, count if from this range. So you're looking at the two columns, the words have SUR in front of them. This has the word SUR in front of them, it counts that. This has the word SUR in front of them, it counts that. This one, no, because it doesn't have SUR in front. SUR over here also. So the answer will be 3. So the answer will be C. Now, if it was the star, if it was in front of SUR, that means the ending of the word could be SUR. But this means that the end of the word can be any word, but as long as SUR is in front, it's fine. So the next question that we're going to do is 27. The formula equals sum of that is entered into A8. What will be the result displayed on A8? So what this means is this. The sum if formula, so notice you see this is the range. So they're telling you the word Surika in that range. I want you to total it for me from this range. So B1 to B6 Surika, B1 to B6. So wherever you see Surika, so this is what it's saying, right? So wherever you see Surika in B1 to B6, I want you to total from this range C1 to this. So basically, I see Surika over here, so that's 3. I see Surika over here, that is 5. So from this range, totaling. So you know that using all the numbers over here. So Surika is here, which is 3. Surika is here, which is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. So the answer will be A. So the next question, which formula will return the value of minus 4? So I can tell you now for a fact it'll be the minimum. Because if you look at over here, it includes this whole area. So if you go to minimum and this whole range, it's going to get you the smallest number. The smallest number is minus 4. I mean, no, sorry, wait. It'll give you minus 4. So it'll be the small function. E. So what is the second small number? The second small number is minus 4, because the first small is minus 5, so minus 4. So that function will give you the second smallest number, so the answer is E. The next one, so this is a logical question. So basically it's saying if A5 is less than or equal to A6. So if this is true, Excel will do this. If this is false, Excel will do this. Now A5 is over here, so they're telling you A3, okay. So A5, A3, A5 is 4 and A6 is 5. So is 4 less than or equal to 5? No, 4 is just less than 5. So it's not equal to 5. So this is false. So because this is false, Excel will use this. So this will be like the actual output. So sum A3 to A10. If you sum all this, it'll only sum all the numbers. So it'll give you 13. So the answer will be 13. The next one, so basically the concatenate function joins words together. So straight away I can tell you it'll be A2 to B2, this one. Now it won't be this one here because the commas are spaced. So there's no space in between the at and the this. So it'll be that, right? So A2 to B2, it means to join these together, to join the email and the username. Now the next one, so straight away, this is what you do. I know my answer for a fact should be B. Because wherever you see this, whatever you know, they tell you know, you must put it in set cell. So because they're telling me the gross profit is 150,000, I've set cell B5 to 150,000. And then obviously the one which you want to know, which is cost of sales, will always be the changing cell, which is B3. Now the next one. So the next one, it will be E, because now let me show you. So just like pause this and just look at this question because I'm going to show you in Excel. So basically what they're saying, if C3 over here is frozen, so you go to, so let's say you have random things over there. If you freeze C3, so you go to freeze panes, I want to see what happens. When I move down, the row 1 and 2 remains constant. And when I move right to left, A and B remains constant. So that's the answer.